continuing today on my story here about highway driving. So where we left off, I had just gotten let go of a job that I just loved, where I was hauling magazines. I was on the highway. I was on the highway for a couple of years, but I guess I consider that the start of my highway career, even though I owned a truck and did stuff before. But this is when I really got into the kind of cross country freight stuff. And so this is I went to work for a company called Savret out of Burlington here, and they were a good company to me. They had all the large equipment, dedicated freight, dedicated equipment. Really enjoyed, got to all kinds of places. The way I ran was I ran a lot of East Coast, a lot of New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, that kind of stuff. But I also ran a lot of Houston, Miami. I ran as far as west as Nebraska. I didn't run California. We had enough guys doing for that, and I was never interested in being gone that long. But I ran a lot of stuff, a lot of Boston, a lot of and I got to go kind of all over. Everywhere as far west as a lot of Chicago, a lot of as far west as basically, gonna say Nebraska, and if you drew a line halfway through the United States, anything east of Nebraska is where I was. A lot of Kentucky and stuff I love. So really had a good time there. Enjoyed it. Great equipment. Was there for a number of years. Enjoyed the people. Still like the company. Still talk to some of them when I see them. And we had a good time there. And that got me launched into, I would just I was everywhere, and I remember, going. One of my backhauls was from Miami to Houston. I had to go to Miami, Houston, up and down to Oklahoma, back down, up again. I think I spent the whole week. I never actually started moving till, But the company was really good. They would send me. I'd run East Coast for probably about, and I'm talking East Coast as far as New Jersey and stuff. I'd run that for probably, I don't know, maybe a month, and there was about 6 or 7 of us that ran that way a lot. And then they would move me around, and then they would run me like Florida and Houston and stuff for about a month, and then back that way. So I got a nice moving around where it was not East Coast every single week for the rest of my life. I got to move around pretty good, and it was good. I enjoyed that quite a bit. And then I ended up getting an opportunity to go to the chemical company. It was one of our customers. And, again, I tell people all the time, when you're looking to, if you're looking to get into better companies, it's what they see on the outside. So this company I've been going to for a long time, and always had the truck clean, always tried to be pleasant when I was talking with them and help them out if I could and those kind of things. They were a major customer for us, and they decided to put on their own fleet. When they did that, I decided to go and work for them. I actually was asked if I would go. I didn't even think to apply there. But they asked if I'd come on board, and I did, and I was there for 13 years. Ended up starting there as a driver. A whole bunch of us worked there and had a good time, and then I ended up becoming a fleet supervisor there. And that's kind of where things went wrong for me when I went from driving to supervising. That's a bit of a different animal. But I enjoyed my time driving. Enjoyed the road. Enjoyed the truck. Still have some very good friends I met from that company where we ran U.S. I ran the U.S. for about 10 years altogether, but 6 years with this particular company, and really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the people I met. Enjoyed the things I saw, and still have really good memories of that. So. Did really well there, and then went to when I became the supervisor of this chemical company, is when things really went well. Decided that I was going to. Uh, I thought I was going to be kind of like the guy for Canada or whatever, the manager, whatever you want to call it. But I got overworked and ended up leaving there. So I was supervisor there for probably about 3 or 4 years, and then I decided to move on. And for the last 10 years, I've been doing my own thing here. So So it's funny when it goes from freight to people. Sometimes you'll be happier if it was just the freight. But good memories at all the companies. So that's a little bit about how my career has evolved over time. It's hard to talk about yourself, so that's why these are very short episodes right now. But just to give you an idea of how things progressed, and there's lots of stories and stuff in there. I urge you to get my book, Driven to Drive. If you want a free ebook, just go to the leadpedalpodcast.com and click on the Lead Pedal newsletter. There's a button, it's a brown button off to the right, and you can get my book for free, and it's an ebook, and you can just get that there if you want to find out how things happen. So I'm going to cut that one out, and I'm going to call that one the last. I was going to do this as 4 parts, but I think that's enough. I'm having trouble talking about myself anymore, so I don't think I'm going to bother doing that. So I think we'll get back into regular interviews and stuff after that, but that gives you an idea of kind of what I was doing, and how I got to where I was, and maybe we'll do. No, we'll do one more. We'll do one more. Why not? Anyway, so let's cut it off here, and then I'll come back and tell you what happened since the supervisor days to get me to the podcast. How's that? So why don't we go out with 060, my friend Thomas Wade. This is one of my favorite songs. Make sure you're not tapping on the fuel pedal when you're listening to this one, because you will get a speeding ticket. So it's 060 by Thomas Wade off his album 7 Years On, and we'll come back and I'll show you how I got to where I am now, and then we can stop talking about me and get talking about other people. All right, my friends, talk to you later. Bye for now.